Hello everybody and welcome to DPW 2023 in Amsterdam, the most influential tech event in procurement. This is the 5th edition already. My name is Emily Zipson and I'm excited to be here to learn from this ever so fast growing industry. In a moment, I'll be speaking with several special guests to hear all about their latest developments, learnings and ideas for the future. Let's get started. My following guests at the table are two female leaders. The first one has been with Meta's source-to-pay team for 4 years and leads a team in improving procurement processes. And before Meta, she gained experience in various industries. Please welcome Lani Adebanjo. Welcome. And my other guest is the head of business development at Amazon Business. And prior to that position, she was procurement director for NHS. And that is Rachel Repper.
Thank you.
Welcome, ladies. Good to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Maybe you can shortly tell a bit more about your role and what you love doing about that.
So I work with customers at Amazon Business, and that is what I love doing. So Lani and Meta are a customer of mine. So I get the opportunity to speak to many customers during a day, understanding what their challenges and issues are, and how we can support them at Amazon Business to essentially digitalise their tail spend.
Great, thank you. Lani.
And for me, my team's responsible for procurement transformation at Meta. So what does that mean? We look for how to improve our processes, or systems and tools to make our procurement professionals' jobs easier and to make things easy for MetaMates to buy, hence how Rachel came into the picture. We want to make sure that MetaMates can get things they need quickly, and Amazon Business is able to support that.
Great. And what would you say is the most challenging in your role? Probably many things, but...
A lot of things.
Yeah, but just to name one.
One, ensuring that compliance is baked into the system and that employees are aware, or that the system is able to provide these controls without employees needing to know. I think another thing would be just embracing change. So when you're used to buying things in whichever way you want from whatever channel, when we try to consolidate and funnel through one channel that provides spend visibility, getting employees to move and adopt sometimes is difficult, but the Amazon-like experience that employees were looking for made it very easy to sort of move to that.
Great. Is that recognizable for you when you hear this challenge? Is that the same that you get from other clients?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I tend to deal with the sort of really large businesses, organisations like Meta. So the kind of scale and complexity of the challenge that Meta is facing will be common to many of my customers as well. I mean, we do see that different customers, depending on the industry, how they're structured, will have different challenges.
Sure.
So I think that's where probably more of the complexity comes in my role, is really honing down and understanding the customer's business, industry and their specific problem, because not every solution will be, a solution will not be the same for all customers.
Right, right.
Never one size fits all.
No, exactly.
No.
Now, Lani, what was the problem that you wanted to solve by bringing a tech solution, and why did you decide to work with Amazon Business?
What were the many problems we were trying to solve? As I mentioned, employees were buying things through many channels, and we wouldn't have visibility into that, which puts our company at risk. And so ensuring that we could consolidate that spend through one channel was one key thing. And then 2, ensuring that the adoption to change would be somewhat seamless. And then 3, another thing we were trying to do was ensure that employees could get what they needed in a timely manner. So if you go through multiple channels, you may not necessarily get the items you need when you need them. And some of these items are needed in order to be able to do your job. And so we thought through who could provide that Amazon-like experience, and well, Amazon. And that's sort of how we ended up working with Rachel and her team.
Great. Now, Rachel, Meta is a global organization with complex needs. And did this make it particularly challenging to work with them?
I think it's what makes it interesting because,
Yeah.
I mean, Meta's really interesting. They don't use an ERP system that is off the shelf. They've made their own. So that means we can't just take our standard APIs and integrate. We've actually had to develop something bespoke for Meta.
Right.
So I think that's it. Yes, they're complex. Yes, they're different to many organisations, but I think actually that's what makes it interesting. And as a consequence of the work that we're doing with Meta, to be able to work into, to integrate into bespoke homemade ERPs, we're now actually going to be able to take that and do that for other customers that have got homegrown bespoke ERPs. So out of working with organisations like Meta, we also get a benefit because it stretches us and we have to evolve things that have benefit to other customers.
Yeah, and that's part of why we chose Amazon Business. Again, we're an engineering company at heart. We build everything, and we needed a company that could integrate and support that, and
Right.
not too many organizations can.
Wow, that makes you unique then, in a way.
Yeah, and it is our customers essentially that feed the evolution and the iteration of Amazon Business. So, this really is a sort of symbiotic relationship as a consequence, yeah.
I understand. And how did it work out for Meta?
Great, actually, we're planning to expand. That's also another thing. Like, we want to ensure parity across our sites, and we look across to say, well, why bring in multiple vendors when we can see what Amazon Business' roadmap is and then support that. So for us, we started with North America and then scaled to Europe, which is another large market for us. And so every site where we have a Meta office, we want to ensure we can provide the same service across, and Amazon Business has been supporting that. And so we also challenge them to say, well, what about this country and what about that country? And so you may have Amazon Consumer there and Amazon Business may not be there, but potentially look at your roadmap and say, what is the opportunity to expand there? What are the customers are in those locations? And so for us, it works great. We challenge them, they support us. It's a win-win relationship.
Exactly, great. And what has been the further impact for your workforce?
It's been beneficial. We're able to get the things we need. Our labs, our data centers are also now leveraging Amazon Business. And so where you may have to have waited 2 weeks to get things prior, now you can get it within 24 hours, which cuts that lead time and improves cycle time greatly. And so it's beneficial across the board for majority of Meta.
Great. So Rachel, which businesses should consider Amazon Business and what should they do if they want to know more?
Amazon Business is, my son-in-law is a barber. He's a sole trader. He has an Amazon Business account. So, and that will be direct access just in the same way that you as a consumer have an account. And then, through to really large multinational corporations that have got complexity like Meta, who will have an ERP system, will be many thousands of staff, thousands of orders. So they will integrate and have e-invoicing as well as the catalogue being hosted on there. So really, it's from a sole trader to a multinational corporation.
Right.
How Amazon Business is then utilised and accessed, that will vary depending on the type of organisation. And in terms of finding out about it, go on the internet.
Yeah.
So, type in Amazon Business, and if you're in Germany, DE, Spain, ES, and if you're in the UK. So yeah, put Amazon Business into the internet and it will appear.
Now we're here at DPW 2023. The main theme is Make Tech Work. What makes tech work for you or your company?
Well, we're a tech company, so everything makes tech work. Ultimately, looking at how tech can be simplified, because there's this idea that it's so complicated.
Yeah.
And you have to be a super duper engineer to be able to use technology. And quite frankly, yes, it's difficult when you're on the back end developing, but for the user to be able to use it, it has to be simplified. And so for us, our goal is to make everything simple. So it's powered by technology. You have generative AI now in the mix, but how do you simplify that and make it easy for everyone, whether you're the developer or you're the end user, making it simple for everyone to use. And I think that's been our goal, and that's how we make tech work.
Great. Yeah, simplify sounds good for me, for a non-tech person. Rachel, what makes tech work for you or for Amazon Business?
Yeah, I think it's the data, it's the curation of insight also that data brings for customers as well. And by that I mean, if you use Amazon Business, then what will pop up is businesses the same as you bought X, and that is about helping the customer to find the items quicker. We're trying to support customers to get rid of non-value adding tasks and reduce downtime. So anything we can do from how the platform functions to be totally digital and people not having to touch that process, to people being able to see really quickly what it is that they need to buy so they're not spending hours looking for something, then that's tech. And then of course the data and the insight that people like Lani and her role need to have full visibility and transparency of what are people buying, how much are they buying of it, what's the frequency. That gives transparency and control, and that is tech as well.
Thank you. Now finally, the future. Anything in particular that you think will change or happen or grow apart from clients? And
again, it goes back to that simplicity. Invoicing can be very complex. And so when you look at the end-to-end procurement process, what are the different areas in which we can make things simpler? We've been partnering with Rachel and her team to move away from a more complex or more manual invoicing process and implementing e-invoicing across wherever Amazon Business has a presence, in addition to expanding. So we want to ensure that every single office can leverage the same experience, which is Amazon Business. So you don't have to look for things, you don't have to search for a supplier, you can go to one stop to get the things that you need. And the future would be to be able to, one, expand these capabilities to every Meta site, and two, incorporate e-invoicing to make it much simpler to pay for the things that we're buying.
And we follow our customers in a sense.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I understand.
and I'm not the tech person, but I think where our customers go in their many industries, but across the procurement, that source to pay function, the needs. I think that's where we'll see the evolution, and on a bigger thinking scale, then crikey, who knows? It's like you look at the pace at which things move now. We were talking about how we pay for things. I expect it's not going to be very long before I'm just putting my finger
somewhere and you're paying.
And I'm paying. So I think it'll be super interesting to see what comes in procurement and the tech stack and that whole digital stack for procurement. And I'm really excited to see what that is. Yeah.
I can imagine. Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, your insights, and your collaboration. And wishing you all the best of luck. And for you viewers, thanks so much for tuning in. Make tech work. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.